Bonjour mesdames et messieurs, in this episode I'm going to show you the best photography spots in Paris. Bonjour mesdames et messieurs, my name is Serge Ramedy. I am a French photographer from the beautiful city of Paris, France, living in Los Angeles, California. A lot of people have been asking me, what are your best favorite spots to shoot in Paris? So I did a blog post about this a while back, and now I did this video based on a blog post to show you some of the best spots I think, or the ones I like the most in Paris. Some are very classic, some are more confidential. Don't forget to click here to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get more videos like this. And please leave me a comment of your favorite spots in Paris. Also, at the end of this video, I'm going to talk to you about my new workshops, the one in Italy and the one in Paris next year. And you will get a full presentation of my new course, the Cityscape Masterclass. But for now, let me show you my best spots in Paris. Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs, and welcome to Paris. So, I'm going to give you some of my best locations in Paris. Some of them are very easy to find, some are harder. Don't worry, you don't need to take notes. There is a link where I made this also as a blog post with the exact Google map of every location. So starting off with the Eiffel Tower, this is a photo I shot with my friend Scott Calby. He was giving me a challenge, giving us a challenge, which was to find a new angle of the Eiffel Tower, which is being shot probably 1 million times per day. So we had this idea of, going very close to one of the feet and just going up, and I made it into black and white and sold it to galleries. So I was really happy for that experience. Then, this is another great view of the Eiffel Tower that you get from the Kim Bridge. If you've seen the movie Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio, there is a big scene here with Marion Cotillard on that bridge. We call it, that's why a lot of Americans call it the Inception Bridge. And you have this amazing view of the Eiffel Tower. I advise you to go there right when they turn on the light. You'll get an amazing scene, and if you're lucky and it rains, you can get some cool reflections. That's the view you get from the first floor of the Eiffel Tower, looking toward the west, which is La Défense. They have this beautiful sort of zoom that you can use. That's the rear view that you get from being up at the Eiffel Tower. I've only been there twice in my life. I don't know, I just don't enjoy it that much, but it's a breathtaking view. I have a bit, fear of height, so it's quite a view. Now this is a confidential place. That's in the 16th district, and only Parisian knows this place, where you have this sort of frame in the frame with Haussmann buildings, which are beautiful buildings, and the Eiffel Tower right in the middle. This one you'll get also the link on the blog post in this video. Next we go over to my favorite bridge, the Alexandre III Bridge. That bridge has got beautiful lamps and sculpture on it, and there is 4 angles you can take photos. That's one of the angle that shows the Invalides, which is the hospital for the army that Napoleon built a while ago, and it's a beautiful plaza. So that's one angle. That is on the Alexandre Bridge with the 2 lamps, watching, doing like a frame in a frame with the Eiffel Tower. That is again on the Alexandre III Bridge. Another night, beautiful sunset. I waited for the sun to come right below the arm of that statue there. This is my second best bridge after the Alexandre III Bridge, and that's the Pont Neuf, which is a bit further down the Seine River. And this is a photo I shot like 8 years ago. It's super heavily retouched, but I love it. I just love this photo, and I've never been able to recreate it again. Anyways, Pont Neuf. Now, the whole Pont Neuf is very close to another port called the Pont des Arts, the Art Bridge, and both of them are very close. And this entire area, and this is always where I go. I take a hotel very close to that when I do my Paris in spring, because the resource of photos you can get in such a little spot is crazy. So that's another version of black and white. That is the Art Bridge, which is right across early morning sunrise, where no one is there. Same thing here, early morning sunrise. That is the view of this Art Bridge from the Pont Neuf. So the 2 bridges are really close to each other. And the good thing is that it's toward the west. So you get a really cool, if you go on the little island that's below the where they take the boat to go on the Seine River, you get this amazing view of the Art Bridge and the Louvre. Then we have, again, the Pont Neuf, but this time from the Art Bridge, looking at the sunrise. This is a photo I took with Matt Luskowski. Hello, Matt, when he came to Paris years ago. I was so happy with that photo. That's an HDR. It was one of my first HDR. Really loved it. This is the cover of my Paris book, and this is again Well, it's not exactly the Pont Neuf. The Pont Neuf is there, but it's below the Pont Neuf. It's around the area where you have the Conciergerie, again heading west. So when you get lucky to have a great sunset, you can get this type of photos. Then that's again the sunrise on the Pont Neuf from the Art Bridge. So as I really wanted to insist that these two bridges will give you the most amazing photos all day long. Then we jump very close down to the Louvre. Now, I'll give you a big trick about shooting photos in the Louvre. You always have to go behind the pyramid and in the corners of that courtyard. If you go in the corners of that courtyard, there is literally 1,000 people in front, and you will see very little people on that side. So that's one photo. That's another photo from that same angle. You have to go there when they turn on the light. It's just breathtaking. Now, we come to the high vintage points of Paris. Some of them are very known, some of them are less known. This is the most famous one, but not a lot of Americans know about it. It's the roof of the Montparnasse Tower, the Tour Montparnasse. You get a 360 view of Paris. Now, the best view is the west view, where the sun sets, of the Eiffel Tower. So that's right. That's one of my favorite. Actually, this photo is part of my new Cityscape Masterclass that you will see at the end of this video. This is the same view, just taken a little earlier on a different day with a sunset, but the city didn't turn on yet. Now, if you're looking for a high vintage, beautiful viewpoint, you also got the Arc de Triomphe. That's a photo from my Cityscape Masterclass, and that's the view you get when you walk up the 200 stairs to go up of the Arc de Triomphe. It's a beautiful, breathtaking view of Paris, where you really see all of the Champs-Élysées. You see all the way down to l'Avenue de la Grande Armée toward La Défense, and a great view of the Eiffel Tower. All right, now let's jump over to the jewel of Paris, Notre Dame. Notre Dame is considered the exact center of Paris, and it's a beautiful church. I remember when I was a kid, I read a whole book of how it was built. Took over 100 years to build, and it's just breathtaking to see. That's long exposure that I did. Very easy to get. That spot is the bridge that's right behind it. Everybody can get that shot. You just have to get a good sunset and put on an ND filter on and get a long exposure. It's worth the try. That's another view from another time from my before Paris in spring, which I'm also announcing. You will see at the end of the video my new workshop in Paris if you want to visit all these places with me. So staying around Notre Dame, the cool thing about Notre Dame is to go up Notre Dame. That's the rear view. My wife went up there and she did a few films up there where you really see the stairs, the view of Paris. It's called the Seven Bridge view. She even shot the Les Cloches, the big bell that's behind it. And it's just a breathtaking view of Paris. That's the front on the summer. So this photo is only possible in July and August. They only do sunsets only in July and August for the roof of Notre Dame. Okay, another great idea when you want to shoot Notre Dame is to go under the bridges and try to do frames in the frames. It always gives very surprising photos. Okay, moving on after Notre Dame, we have Notre Dame again, but this time from a pretty confidential point. Not everybody knows that. It is from the terrace of the Institute of the Arab World. It's a museum about the Arab world, and you can go on the 6th floor, or on the 12th floor, I think, the last floor up. And so on one side, you get this view of, it's beautiful. You just have to look at the schedule. It's not open every day. And you can stay until sunset. Normally tripods are not allowed, but every time I went there, I put on a tripod and they said nothing. So it's kind of not allowed. And anyways, you have little poles you could put your cameras on where you could get away without a tripod. So that's one view. That's another view taken in the afternoon. It's a beautiful view of Notre Dame and the entire Ile Saint-Louis, which is on my right, and Ile de la Cité. There's two small islands in Paris, and you get really an amazing view of that. And then that's a funny story again with Scott Calby. In the Institute of the Arab World, you have small windows on the other side. Well, they have a big color cast, but that's the view you get because it's right on the west. And so that's a pretty hidden trick. If you go up there, go the other side, and under the small rounded windows, you will get this view. Let's carry on. Now we come to my favorite place, Montmartre. Montmartre is one of the oldest quarters of Paris. It's up on a hill, and it's just amazing. It looks like you're traveling in time. This is a photo of the Dalida Plaza Again, all the links, don't worry, are all in the description of the YouTube video. You click, you'll come on my blog, and you've got all the Google Map lists. This is a very specific photo. I love this leading line going up to the Sacré-Cœur. And then we have, now that's a little good trick also that people don't know. The church that up there is the Sacré-Cœur. Everybody has photos of that. But if you go behind it, that's the view you get, and often there is nobody. You can have 20,000 people in front, 0 people behind. I don't know why. It's a mystery. Carry on, then we have the famous Lampin Agile. It's a very old restaurant that's in Montmartre. It looks like from a Walt Disney concert. Sorry, not Walt Disney concert, but Walt Disney movie. And you got a great, depth because you have, including here in the street, a big view of Paris. Cars are not allowed, so almost every day of the week you can get amazing photos. Okay, continuing into Montmartre, this is the stairs of Montmartre, and there is stairs in Montmartre everywhere. But this one's, again, you will find a Google Map link in the description of this video. This one are the only one toward the west. And beautiful view of Paris. This is one of my favorite photos of Paris ever. Montmartre. Now this is really a confidential area. Even a lot of Parisians don't know. This is houses that you find in the Odéon Quarter, right in the heart of Paris, in a small street. And they haven't changed in hundreds of years. They actually shoot movies there very often. Again, you will find the link in my blog in the description of this video. We come to the Canal Saint-Martin. I used to have offices there. This bridge is very famous because it was from there is a very famous French movie that was shot there with Jean Gabin from years ago. And that bridge is just beautiful to take. That's one of my favorite black and white photos from Paris. And carry on. The Senate in the Luxembourg garden, a beautiful place, the nicest garden in Paris, full of photo opportunities. And the great thing is the sun sets always behind the Senate. So if you go in the garden, now the only problem is that they close at sunset. So I can always get the early sunset, never the end of the sunset. And you have to be really sharp, be ready, because cops are going to whistle and get you out of the garden before the end of the sunset. But that's the name of the game. And that's another view taken in the middle of afternoon, again of the Senate in the Garden of Luxembourg. It's a little trick, you can use the little puddle or étang, as we say, where they play with little boats as a foreground element and do a long exposure, and you get this photo. So don't forget to also leave me a comment of your favorite place in Paris. You can also put a link to some of your best photos about Paris. I would love to see it. Also, I'm happy to announce that my Cityscape Masterclass is out. Here is a little presentation. Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs, and welcome to my Cityscape Masterclass. I just want to walk you through all the different projects that I have. I'm actually just on a few projects because there is over 40 different full retouching, and I just picked a few so you have an idea of what you're going to be learning. So, first we're going to go live in the Arc de Triomphe, where I'm going to show you how I compose my photos, and then we're going to do some long exposure, black and white, selective color or not, of the Arc de Triomphe. We're going to go on the top of the Arc de Triomphe and have a beautiful photo shoot there, and I'll show you how to retouch, because how you can do it without a tripod are not authorized on top of the Arc de Triomphe. And then we're going to continue by going to Notre Dame, where I did a lot of shoot and a lot of live shoots, and I'll show you the best that came out of it. That's the before. That's the final photo that we're going to get in the Notre Dame. That's another one we're going to get. That's the before photo, and that's the final result, where we're going to do like an HDR and really getting all the details coming out. Then I'm going to take you to the Da Vinci Code Church, the Saint-Sulpice, Église Saint-Sulpice, and we're going to do it again in the middle of afternoon, live, an ND1000 shoot to get this final result. Then we're going to go the whole way down to the south of France in Provence. I'm going to bring you to Saint-Tropez, and we're going to do some night street photography with long exposure. That's the before, and that's the final result. One of my favorite one of these small cities in the south of France. This is also a big panorama. We're going to be doing an HDR panorama. That's the final result. It's a lot of photos. It took about 18 photos to get this result, still in the south of France. Then we're going to go back up the whole way to Amiens in the north of France, and I'm going to show you some before and after of a beautiful sunset. I really wanted to do small cities. I wanted to do big cities. So this is again Amiens before and after. We're going to go back to Paris in the Louvre, and I'm going to show you a really cool technique to take out and erase all the tourists. That's the before, and that's the after with no tourists, a beautiful sunset in the Louvre. Then we're going to go to New York, and in New York I'm going to show you a lot of projects there, but this is just one in particular I'm going to show you. This is a building in New York, and that's the final image. It's a pretty tricky retouching with a vertorama, sky replacement, a lot of different things to make really this photo pop. Then I'm going to show you the full workflow of one of my favorite photo ever that actually sold the most, and this is the view of Paris. It's the cover of this course, and there is some work that was taken to get rid of this photo and make it pop, and this is something you can apply on all the high vintage view that you have on cityscapes. Then we're going to finish by Venice, and this is just one of the projects. That's the before and after during the Carnival. So I've been preparing this course for over a year, taking photos from all over the world. The idea is really to show you my best photos, all my retouching techniques. It's very much in the same idea than the Landscape Masterclass, except this one is for cities. It's got a lot of tricks that you won't find anywhere else, neither on my YouTube channel or on the other courses. There's a lot of new techniques there, and I've even retouched old photos with new techniques that came out with Lightroom CC and Photoshop CC. So I hope you do check it out. It's one of my longest courses that I ever did, the Cityscape Masterclass, and I'm sure it will help you to take your cityscape photos really to the next level. Check it out.